Am I the a-hole for refusing to support my sister after dad told her he regrets being her dad? I, 28 female, have two siblings, Jake, 34 male, and Donna, 32 female. When Donna was 10, dad found out mom had cheated on him and Donna was not his child, which confirmed this. Our parents divorced, but nothing changed with dad and Donna. He still treated her the same, but he also told her if she ever wanted to know her biological father, he would love, support, and help her in that journey too. When Donna was 20, she asked Dad for help finding her biofather. He paid for the DNA test and other expenses, including travel when she found him. He paid for therapy. He held her hand throughout. He told me and Jake that this changed nothing, and he told us to support our sister because he was worried we wouldn't like her finding that guy. Donna chose not to stay in touch with her biofather at that time. 3 years after this, Donna started a relationship back up with her biological dad, but told nobody for 2 years. The first we learned about it was when Donna got engaged and she invited the guy to her engagement party. During the engagement party, she introduced her biological dad as her real dad to people. Dad took it in stride and said it was sometimes hard to find the words. Donna asked Dad if he would pay for her biological father's hotel room for an extra night because he could only afford that one night and she wanted to see him a little longer, and Dad did this for her. When she got married, she asked Dad to pay and he did. Then she had her bio father walk her down the aisle and only mention him in her toast. Dad was so heartbroken. She also refused to take a photo with just Dad and us without her real dad in it. Then she got mad that Dad asked for it. She called him out for it after the wedding. Then 2 years ago, she refused to take part in Dad's 60th birthday because it wasn't fair to her real dad. She also announced that she was expecting a baby and didn't want to confuse her child about who their grandpa was. So she wasn't going to pretend Dad was her dad any longer. She also announced her real dad had adopted her, so she was no longer legally Dad's kid anyway. She didn't try to include Dad in her baby's life at all. But now her real dad has let her down and she went crying back to Dad and said she wanted him to be in her life again. She wanted him to reassure her that nothing was wrong, etc., and Dad refused. She told him he shouldn't reject his grandchild, and he said he never rejected his grandchild, but she made it clear he didn't have one. She said it wasn't fair and he promised nothing had changed. He said he wished he hadn't done any of it. He wished he had left her to her real dad since he meant nothing to her clearly. She went to Jake, who told her she got what she deserved. Then she turned to me. I didn't say that, but I told her I wanted no part of her pity party and would not support her after what she did to Dad. She told me we had always been close and it was so cold and cruel to reject supporting her when she needs it most. Am I the a-hole? I honestly hate people who only use people when it's for their convenience. Because it's not like she was a 10-year-old child, and it's not like she was a confused teenager. She was a grown adult woman making those decisions, and now she needs to stand on it. If this man who raised her entire life wasn't that important that she wouldn't include him in all of her milestones when she's an adult, when he was there for all of her milestones when she was a child, for some man who cheated with a married woman and a deadbeat from the sound of it, then now she has no dad. Am I wrong for telling my friend that she doesn't get to have an opinion about my cooking because she's poor? My best friend Layla, 29 female, and her partner Ryan, 40 male, were over for dinner this evening. I enjoyed cooking, and tonight's dish was a seafood pasta with garlic bread and a veggie side dish. Having Layla and Ryan over for dinner is semi-frequent occurrence, but they typically don't contribute anything to our meals. The reasoning is 1, they struggle financially, and 2, neither of them are very good at cooking. If they do bring something, it's usually drinks or a store-bought side dish, potato salad, mac salad, chips, etc. But that is rare. This has not ever really bothered me because hanging out is always a good time, and I'm understanding of their financial situation and preference for not cooking. My partner and I live very comfortably and can afford to feed guests for dinner every so often, so it really has never been an issue until tonight. I usually like to cut shrimp in half when I'm incorporating into pasta because I feel like it mixes in better that way. It's just a personal preference. I don't claim to be a master chef, I just like cooking and that's the way I've always done it. Layla started getting on my case about not serving whole shrimp with pasta. It started out as light-hearted banter but quickly became extremely annoying. Some of her comments included, Feeling stingy tonight, huh? Hope I don't get hungry again later. I've never seen pasta served with cut up shrimp before. I eventually got fed up and said something along the lines of, interesting take considering that I know you've never cooked shrimp ever in your life and probably can't afford to either. You don't work. Ryan doesn't have a real job. You guys come over here for free food and complain about it? Nah, I'm done. It was word vomit, followed by a very awkward silence. They left shortly after that. I texted Layla an hour later and apologized for what I said. She apologized as well, but honestly, I'm still mad. I'm starting to feel like they're freeloaders, and it feels icky knowing that they come over here and eat well pretty often, and my partner and I never get anything in return. I know that we're in different financial situations, but there are ways to make an effort without spending a lot of money. Layla suggested we do dinner again next week, assuming we're all good after we both apologized. I responded and basically said I'll pass on that. She hit me back with, so are we poor? So are we too poor for you now? And I just said, yep. It's obviously not entirely that, but the whole thing left a bad taste in my mouth now and I don't even want to talk to her. My partner thinks I'm being harsh, but I don't know. I feel used and I don't like that. So he's basically asking if she's the a-hole. I don't know. I feel like this is just a prime example of someone is feeling resentful towards somebody or a situation that they're in. Clearly, OP doesn't want to feed her freeloading friend, but I don't think had she said, "Oh, I've talked to multiple times about her, not that it bothers me that she doesn't bring anything," then it would have been one thing. But from the sound of it, she welcomes this lady and her boyfriend with or husband, whatever he was, with open arms, and she is the one suggesting to have these dinner parties and hosting these dinner parties continuously. I feel like at some point she should just say, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore," or talk to her friend and say, "Well, I would appreciate if you would bring something and add something to these parties that we're all benefiting from," because obviously no matter how much money you got these days and age, food is expensive. I don't know. But I don't know. This is just a prime example when someone doesn't communicate their feelings and they take out all their resentment and anger out of nowhere on someone. What do you guys think?